said today that countries...
You're with who?
MS Now.
MS Now. That's a failing network. Why would you want to work for them? MS Now, can you imagine? They wanted to get away. They took the name NBC because they were embarrassed by it. Go ahead, let's go. When do you hear this question?
All right, folks, and I will say it always brings me a bit of laughter to see President Trump absolutely ragging on mainstream media outlets like MS Now, formerly known as MSNBC, and he's not letting them live it down. The name changed from MSNBC to MS Now because of the way they were the laughingstock of legacy media outlets. And it doesn't look like President Donald Trump was in the business of sparing any feelings during his latest visit to the NATO summit in Turkey. And if you guys thought that last clip was bad, wait till you get a load of what he did to Spain.
And I want to thank Mark. He's been a great Secretary General of NATO. I'm not happy with NATO because of what they did with Greenland. And I'm not happy with NATO because of the fact that they didn't want to help us with the #1 state sponsor of terror. That's Iran. They were unwilling to help us. Now, in all fairness, I didn't speak to Mark about it. I think if I did, it might have been different. But we didn't need help. But I was really testing. I wanted to see whether or not they'd be there. And the answer is they were. I spoke to Germany. I spoke to France. Spoke to UK. Spoke to Italy. I didn't speak to Spain. Spain is a wasted cause. We don't want to do any trade business with Spain anymore, by the way. I'd like you to cut it off. Spain is a terrible partner in NATO. They don't participate. They don't pay. I don't want anything to do with Spain. Cut off all trade with Spain, please, including visits. Okay, we don't want anything to do. Watch them come running back. Oh, they'll come running back. They treat this man terribly, and this man's a good man too, great man. They're lucky they have him. But Spain doesn't agree to anything, and you shouldn't carry him. I mean, you sort of automatically carry because you're protecting an area, so they're there. So they probably figure they have to protect us, right? But we don't have to, and we don't have to trade with them. I don't want to do any more trade with them. All right? Yes, take it immediately. Don't even talk to them. They're hopeless. Bad people, because they have everybody else going and paying and working. In Spain, in particular Spain, there are a couple of others, but in particular Spain, they're open about it. They're hostile about it. And let's see how hostile they remain when they call up and they, please, we want to trade with you, sir. We want to trade with you, sir. They make so much money with us, and we're going to see that they make a lot less. I want no business with them.
Wow, guys, talk about absolutely laying down the smackdown. President Donald Trump held nothing back and going after Spain for their lack of contribution towards NATO and their alliance. I mean, it looks like the United States is pulling this alliance. Other countries are finally getting in on board to finally investing into this partnership. But Spain, not only are they not investing monetarily, but they're also, not willing to help us when it comes to combat. President Donald Trump kind of made them show their cards when he asked for help with Iran, the conflict that we currently have now, and they didn't want to help. They were not willing to help or even allow us to use their bases because it was closer to station and fuel back up. Absolutely insane. I don't blame President Donald Trump one bit. And the funniest part about all of this is the left is going to try to run away with the narrative. They're going to try to make this their new, slogan. President Donald Trump is now cut off Spain, who is a very critical alliance. We need this ally in NATO, and they're going to go on about how important they are to us as a country. But what I really find interesting is that other world leaders are already coming out backing President Donald Trump, saying these countries, these NATO allies are not doing enough. They need to pull their weight.
For a shift of the burden within NATO, that's appropriate. That is happening. That's gaining momentum. That's part of the point I made to President Trump when we spoke a few days ago, is that it's not just he's winning the argument, he's won the argument. Countries recognize that they need to take more responsibility, see the direct threats. Now, the question for NATO, and part of what we will discuss and part of the point I will make in the room with my 3.5 minutes of time.
Now that right there says a lot, and I'm glad that someone was finally man enough to admit it on the world stage. That was Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney admitting that President Donald Trump has been right all along and saying that NATO allies need to pull their weight and do their fair share. But watch, the Democrats will still find some sort of issue, a bone to pick with President Donald Trump. I'm telling you guys, it's that Trump derangement syndrome. And while we're on the topic of the Democrats and the panic ants, I want you guys to check out the latest rumor rumor that they're now spreading on President Donald Trump's behavior while at this NATO summit. They're now saying, and this is on the formerly known as the, the Kamala HQ headquarters or whatever. Kamala is the one who, endorsed this Twitter, this handle, headquarters for the Democrats. News you can use is what they say they are. They're putting out this, flat out lies, if you're asking me, saying that Trump appears to be completely passed out, asleep at the NATO summit in Turkey.
Covered within 3 years, even before the pledged date. We have allocated an additional budget.
And I will say the left is outdoing themselves with the narratives they're trying to run off with right here. I mean, we could see President Donald Trump head down, and it's all about the optics. I mean, looks can be deceiving. If you're saying that President Donald Trump is sleeping in this clip, then when I pause it right here, you would have to also say that this man right here is sleeping as well. I mean, tell me I'm wrong. That's just what I'm seeing. It looks like President Donald Trump is reading. Obviously, this is an elevated platform, so he's looking further down than what it seems on the camera. It looks like he's leaned over, but he's obviously looking at something on the desk, like this man right here. I mean, the left, you guys are so ridiculous. They just nitpick President Donald Trump every step of the way, and that right there is a very clear picture of what I mean by the left just making stuff up, pulling these things out of thin air. And while we're on the topic of Trump's oppositions, I want you guys to see this journalist who attempted a full-on gotcha moment or gotcha question, and it instantly backfired. President Donald Trump deflected that thing and sent it back full speed.
Mr. President, Tyler Pager with the New York Times. Last month you said Iranian leaders were very rational people, nice people to deal with, strong people, smart people. Today you said they were scum, sick people, and being led by sick people. What changed, and do you think they're...
I got to know them. So
I've
said that about a lot. Now, when you say rational, I think they're much more rational than level 1, level 2. Level 1 is gone, level 2 is gone. This is level 3. Everything's gone. Their leaders are gone. They had leaders, they're gone, and they had another set of leaders, they're gone. Now they have another set of leaders, they may be gone. Who knows? And you know what? I may be gone too, because I'm their number one target. It's out all over the place. I'm their number one because they're scum. That's the way they act, and that's the way they've done it for 47 years. But I'm doing what's right for the country. I'm doing really what's right for the world. They have to be stopped.
And just like that, President Donald Trump has done it again, absolutely putting these smug journalists in their place. I mean, that gotcha question went overboard, tried to make President Donald Trump look like some sort of flip-flopper because his perspective has changed on Iranian leaders in the past 30 days. But he's clearing that up very simply saying, hey, I didn't know these guys. I mean, you got to give me a break because it's the third set of leaders that I'm having to deal with. I gave them the benefit of the doubt. They've shown me what they're worth, and now I know they are not to be trusted. And that's why he's calling them scum. Now, I want to show you this as well. There's more rumors surrounding why President Donald Trump is not flying aboard the new Air Force One that was gifted to him by Qatar when he's flying back from Turkey to the United States of America. And he's dropping it all, letting us know exactly why this plane will not be in use just yet.
I'd like you to address speculation that you're leaving Ankara not in the new Air Force One because of security concerns involving Iran. You've spoken today twice about them possibly assassinating you and possibly being successful. Did that concern have something to do with it?
Well, I speak about it a lot because, the life of a president is very dangerous. It's 5.2%. You know what a race car driver is? 1/10 of 1%. A bull rider, that looks pretty dangerous to me. It's 1/10 of 1%. No, it's 5.2% is you don't make it. You should have told me, you're an excellent reporter. You should have told me that years ago. Maybe I wouldn't have run. It's a very dangerous profession. No, I'm number one on the kill list for Iran. They're lovely people. I'm number one. So I don't know. I can't tell you that, but I don't really care because I'm doing my job and I'm doing it, I hope, better than anybody's ever done it, because we have a country that's hot and really, really successful. But I mention it only because it's on the list. I mean, it came out. There was another list came out yesterday, and I'm number one on. I like being number one on TikTok better, but I'm number one on the list for for killing.
And honestly, this is another wise move from President Trump, his security team, whoever put this in place, because they see that tensions are rising, things are escalating with Iran, the whole conflict, the ceasefire agreement just fell through the cracks. I mean, you'd rather be safe than sorry. So we definitely should be playing it safe right here. And I'm glad to see that they're taking this all into account. Now, another notable moment was when President Donald Trump asked Zelenskyy of Ukraine if he traveled to Moscow to meet with Vladimir Putin. I want you guys to see this response. It honestly had me laughing a little bit. So check this out.
President Putin said, I would love to meet in Moscow. And I said, I don't think, I have to put myself in his position. I don't know that he'd go to Moscow. Maybe he would. Would you go to Moscow?
It's difficult. There are a lot of Ukrainian drones there. That's right. It's dangerous.
He doesn't want to be hit by a drone.
Europe.
No, it's hard. It's hard to go to Moscow.
I'm glad to see that everyone's still able to be cordial, very lighthearted. It looks like the relationship between Zelenskyy and President Donald Trump has grown together ever since he was kicked out of the White House in humiliating fashion. I'm glad to see that Zelenskyy is getting his act in order and willing to work with President Donald Trump and also Vladimir Putin to get to a resolution in this conflict. Now, we all know an appearance on the world stage is not complete unless President Donald Trump gets to flex his legendary accomplishments, what he's been achieving. So we're going to end it off right here.
We have the highest number of jobs. Right now, we have the most people working in the United States that we've ever had in the history of our country. We have the biggest investment ever made, $19.2 trillion. That's 6 times more than we've ever had. Think of it, 6 times. And what did that were tariffs. Without the tariffs, I think we would have done fine, like at about 2 or 3. The last administration had much less than $1 trillion invested for 4 years. We have $19.2 trillion invested in 1 year. We haven't gone into the extra almost a half a year, 1.5 years. Those numbers won't come out for a little while. So we have 19.2 trillion, not billion, not million, trillion with a T, invested in plants and equipment that's being built all over the country. Eli Lilly is building plants, big drug, Merck, all of them. The drug companies are building. The car companies are building like crazy. In fact, as you probably saw a big announcement yesterday, Toyota is leaving Mexico and they're going to build one of the biggest car manufacturing plants in the world in Texas. That's because of the tariffs, because we don't mind if you build in Mexico, but if you build in Mexico, you have to pay 25% tariff. If you build in Japan, or if you build in any place, now China is a much higher tariff. It's 100% tariff because we don't want to lose our jobs. We don't want to have our workers lose their jobs. We have the largest number of plants being built for the most money ever in the history of our country.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Oh my goodness, definitely some huge developments coming out of that latest NATO summit in Turkey with President Donald Trump cutting all ties with Spain, or demanding it at least. I'm not sure if we're going to act on it, but I mean, it's the right move to make if you're really weighing the pros versus the cons. These folks are supposed to be our allies, supposed to, be in NATO with us, helping us out when it requested. We would do it for them, but turns out when we actually are in a pickle, they're not going to be there to get us out of the bind. And then on top of that, they're not even paying their dues. I mean, they're not even investing into the alliance, the partnership. So why do we trade with them? Why are we connected or tied with Spain? I'm with President Donald Trump on this one wholeheartedly. And aside from all of that, it's very refreshing to have this true leader on the world stage. Not once was I embarrassed by the behavior of President Donald Trump during his attendance at the NATO summit, despite the left trying to run off with the narrative, say that he was sleeping, nodding off, all of that. I'm not buying any of that. We literally had a president sitting in the Oval Office that wouldn't have been able to do any of this. I mean, it would have made us look like a complete embarrassment on the world stage, made us look lousy. And I'm just glad that we got away from that for sure, guys. But that's all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, definitely hop in the comment section. Let me know what you guys are thinking on this one. And before you get out of here today, if you could, please, now's the time. I want you to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really do need your guys' help and engagement, making sure that you're hitting that like button, hitting those comments, because Right now we're at a turning point in the channel. You guys can probably tell. I mean, we're not getting pushed as much as we need to right now. So in order for us to get pushed, I need you guys' viewership. Let me know if you guys have made it all the way to the end, and also drop a comment. Drop a comment. It doesn't cost a thing. It also doesn't cost a thing to hit that like. So make sure you do that for your boy RetroStef, and I'll catch you guys on the next one week.